there, today I want to share with you my step-by-step strategy to batch Pinterest pins worth 2 weeks in just a single setting. Now, as a busy creator or entrepreneur, you probably don't have all day long to be sitting and creating pins. However, consistency is one of the biggest reasons for success on Pinterest, and I want to share with you how you can batch pins in a smart and effective manner so that you can save time and do this whole process in just a single day. This is the exact strategy that helped me grow my Pinterest account to over 5 million views and 11,000 followers in a very short period of time. Step number 1 is to assess what works. Now, what I mean by this is that you need to spend a little bit of time understanding exactly what is working for your account before you jump right into creating pins and scheduling them. What you can do here is that you can look into either your Pinterest analytics data and check out some of your top performing pins, or you can look into Google Analytics or whatever backend you're using for your website and see what are the best landing pages or pins that you have directed from your Pinterest account. Now, what you want to do is that you want to single out the top 10 to 20 performing pages. Now, by pages here, I mean it could be a product page, it could be a blog post page, it could be any kind of URL that you are using to promote on Pinterest. What you want to do at this step is that you want to single out the top 10 to 20 pages that are performing the best for you. Now, obviously, this step only works if you have at least a month or two worth of data in your Pinterest account. If you just started your account yesterday, you are unlikely to have access to this data. However, if you've started your account and you have started to see a little bit of traction and you want to leverage data in a smart way, then you want to make sure that you are taking the time to assess what is already working on your account. Now, step number 2, which is very, very important in this process, especially if you want to save time, is to organize your pins. What you're going to do here is that you're going to open a simple Excel sheet, maybe even a piece of paper or a Google Doc, where you're going to note down these 3 things. You're going to note down what is the title of the pin that is performing well. So remember what you did in step 1, which was to figure out which pins were performing the most. You're going to simply note down one by one what are the top 10 pins on your account. Then in the second column, you are going to talk about the URL or the link that the pin is directed to. And in the third column, you're going to share any comments that are relevant to that particular pin. So was the colors that you used or the fonts that you used in that pin very interesting? Was the topic or the theme really eye-catching? These 3 columns are really, really simple to create, and you can literally do this in just half an hour if you have access to the data already. Now, once you have done this organization step, you have all of your best performing pins in a single place, which you can come back and refer to again and again. Step 3 is to plan your pinning strategy. Now, pinning strategy is an extremely in-depth and advanced topic, and I cover this in a lot of detail inside my program PINFLUENCER Academy, but let me give you a gist of what I mean when I'm talking about creating your pinning strategy. So let's say that you want to create and schedule pins for the next 2 weeks. This means that you are going to be creating pins for 14 days. Now, let's assume that you want to create 2 pins per day, which basically works out to around 28 new pins that you want to create over the period of the next 2 weeks. Now, when it comes to your Pinterest strategy, there are going to be majorly 2 types of pins that you are going to include. One of them is going to be the content that is already performing well, aka the content that we identified in step 1 and step 2. And the second category is going to be the content that you're going to create in this month, which is going to be the latest posts, the latest URLs, or the latest pins that you create. So let's assume that you want to create a simple pinning strategy, which is going to be easy for you to remember. So what you can do here is that out of the 28 pins that you plan to release on Pinterest over the next 2 weeks, you can simply split them into 2 and make a breakup of 14 pins, which is going to be your top performing content, and 14 pins, which is going to be your new or upcoming content. So in order to make the most of this strategy, you can then create a 1 pin linked to your old content, and you can create a 1 pin every day linked to your new content. The next step, once you have identified your top performing content and you have it all in one place, and you also know how many pins you want to create, the next step really is to create pins in Canva. Now, of course, if you're using PicMonkey or any other tool that you're comfortable with, feel free to go ahead and do that. I personally love and use Canva, so I would recommend that you do that, especially if you are a complete beginner. Now, you can either create pins one by one, and that would take you, let's say, anywhere between 5 minutes to 10 minutes per pin based on how proficient you are in creating pins, or you can use this one strategy that has helped me save so much time in the last couple of years, and that is to use templates. Now, essentially how this works is that once you know what designs are working well for your account, you create specific sets of templates per blog post so that you can simply go into that design, edit that design quickly with different text, different fonts, or different images, and then simply publish that and schedule it right away. Now, when you create your pin designs from scratch, every time that you open your Canva account, you are going to inevitably take 5 or 6 times more time than it would if you already had a saved set of templates for your account. Now, I have a set of 70 templates that I've already tested and proven that they get high clicks and conversions. And if you're interested in checking them out, you will find the link to them in the description box below under viral traffic templates. So how this works is that once you have identified what are the topics and the categories of pins that you're creating, you're simply going to go into Canva account and you're going to create these 28 pins in one go. If you're an absolute beginner, it would take you 2 to 3 hours to create 28 pins. However, if you're using templates and you're a little bit proficient in how Canva works, you can do this in 45 minutes to 1 hour. Step number 5 is to schedule and automate. Now, this is the step that's going to save you so much time and money, especially if you don't have a VA or a manager who is handling your Pinterest account. You're simply going to head into your desktop app and you're going to go into the create pins section where I'm going to be showing you how you can schedule your pins in advance. Now, a lot of people actually don't even know about this feature and they think that the only way that they can schedule pins out is by using a paid tool such as Tailwind. But while it is a great tool in and of itself, Pinterest actually gives you an option to schedule pins 2 weeks in advance, which means that if you're not ready to invest in Tailwind, then you can absolutely just use the native pin scheduler to be creating and uploading pins. Now, I recommend that you do this on your desktop because if you're creating a large volume of pins and you want to be seeing a couple of different things, which I will share with you in the strategy, you need to be on a desktop to do it. So once you've logged into your Pinterest account and you're on the create pin section, I want you to open 2 things on your desktop simultaneously. The first thing that you're going to open is the pin tracker, which we created in step 2, where you have information on all your top performing pins. And the second thing that I want you to open is the folder where you have saved all of your downloaded, freshly created designs from Canva. Next, you're going to simply go into the bulk add option on this editor, which you can see on the top left corner where there is a plus sign, and you can make 28 slots just by using that plus sign. The next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to go one by one into each of the pins and create titles, descriptions, as well as add URLs from your tracker or from your blog or wherever else it is that you're pinning from, and simply pick a particular time when that pin is going to get live. So instead of clicking on the publish now, you can go on the schedule at a later time option and pick the specific time that you want that pin to go live. Now, a lot of people have confusions about when is the best time to pin. However, the best time to pin is going to be again dependent on where you are based and where your audience is based. If your audience is based on the East Coast in the US, you want to be making sure that you are pinning when they are most active. If your audience, on the other hand, is based in a different country, such as let's say Malaysia, then you're going to have to pick a time when your Malaysian audience is going to be most active. So once you filled out all of this information, you are going to see all of the schedule pins show up at the top of your Pinterest profile, which can give you the assurance that for the next 2 weeks, all of your Pinterest work is done. Now that brings us to the end of this strategy to save your time and to batch pins like a pro. If you would like to learn more from me, make sure to check out my free traffic masterclass, which is linked in the description box below, where I walk you through step by step how to leverage Pinterest to grow your traffic and sales. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.